Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and my family, welcome back. And as you have seen some of the other interviews, or if you haven't seen the interviews, please go back and check all the interviews on the different social medias, because I have got those peoples, I call them as the source. These people have actually came down to such an extent with their probably past, and they have done something. These are the implementation protocol experts, I will say. So today also, I've got somebody who is not only just an author, who is not only just a proficient speaker, but also a softback leadership explorer. She terms herself as a coach as well, with an amazing expertise for so many years. I would like to welcome Srijata Bhatnagar today. Welcome, Srijata.
Thank you, Amit, and I'm glad that you reached out to me to share my, share my viewpoints about different things. Just a little bit of a corrector, setback as in challenges, failures, troubles, etc. And so that's what I do pretty much, and I explore and find opportunities in setbacks, in challenges, within failures.
Awesome. And now, since we have a lot of setbacks and a lot of this kind of excuses where I don't have this, I can't go out, I am missing my team who was to come down and we used to work together, and missing all the blue board and blackboard and stuff like that. All the joint meetings have gone. This is a new level of probably a human relationship. I call it the digital relationship, and this is second level of setbacks are probably people are facing it. So what would be your take probably for those people who are right now are not able to have this kind of the so-called traditional way of human interactions?
As human beings, it's not that we don't like change. We like changes. We like variety in life, but we don't like it when it is forced upon us. Many of us, many of corporate folks, as well as, even people who are professionals and working on their own, product and services and other ways, have always longed for time, extra time that they can have for themselves, where they can do whatever they have been wanting to do, probably getting
right,
or reading a book, or doing something that they have been wanting to do for a long, long time, and your wish has been granted finally. Just that your wish got granted when you probably didn't want it. And that is why this, this chaos, this rattling feeling about what do I do with this time? How can I cope with it? And how do I adapt to it? And things like that. So if you just step back, first of all, from this chaos and sit away from it, thinking, okay, yes, there is a challenge that we're facing right now. There is a fear of health related issues, and there is a scare of that. But having said that, while you are at home, there are certain things that are possible that can be done, which you have been. So let's put it this way, that now, while we have these fear of future, the scarcities that we are facing about daily necessities, our normal lifeline or the way of life has changed completely. But having said that, it is also giving us an opportunity to do things that we have been wanting to do it for a long, long time, and get better at it. So just to give you an example about my own, my own things, what I did during the lockdown, I have been struggling to do videos more often. Thanks to my work, thanks to other work, thanks to traveling, etc., 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 and also partially the fear of facing the camera. That might sound very funny because I'm supposed to be a speaker and I speak on stage. So anyway, now this was something that was pending for a long time. And I've been wanting to do this for almost 2-3 years now. Now the lockdown, I treated that as an opportunity, and I have already created 15 videos during this period.
That's great.
So, the sky is not the limit. I don't even call it a limit. You can think anything you would want to do in this lockdown period and go ahead, just do it.
Right. So, Srijata, you have mastered the art of oral communications, and this is a good, uh, I'll say, an attribute for anybody who wants to lead a team or who wants to just, take a team stuff. So there are a lot of people who are, have their own ways of, working inside a company as a team lead or organizations or a team player. And they also need this kind of communication skills, which is right now probably, I'll say, the digital communication skills, where probably this is another way when you're looking at these videos. There are okay, like guys, as I said, like this is a kind of a transparent talk. In between, we had a power failure and a kind of a network issue. But if you could make out that there was a kind of a problem here, if you have made out, then you also know how we try to reconnect it and we try to do it. And Srijita was here. I just said, okay, start with this way. So there's a new form or new format of, or the new grammar has came into existence, where if you have a network problem, how do you reconnect back? And when you reconnect back, if you're recording, how do you take it forward, right? So Srijita might be amazed. Okay, you are not supposed to talk about that. Yeah, why not? This is the next level. And I think when you are into this communication exchange industry or the protocol, I think these are certain things that you need to work out. So Srijita, I would like to ask you, like, do you have any tips for those people who are team players? Right now, they are connecting over call conferences, the conferences that we do, Zoom meetings like this. Okay, so I'm sure there is a different way of communicating with one-on-one, and when you are talking to probably 5 or 6 people. I don't know what is the maximum number you can put on a conference, but Zoom can give you a,
100 minimum, yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know, it can go to more. I know people who have done it for 5,000, 6,000 people also over Zoom.
Yes, yes.
So that's a different way. So you need a team to manage all this back end, then somebody to manage the technicalities. When you're talking, there are sometimes you can have animations popping up here and there. Those kind of tricks you can work out. But the major thing is you need to have something inside to connect. And I would like to go back to Srijita because she has been doing it probably from the traditional time and to the present current time also. So what are those qualities of someone who knows about a subject, but now he has to deliver it so that the other can understand what he's trying to talk?
So if you ask me about communication, and yes, there has been a change in the way we have been communicating earlier versus now. There's a physical distance that has been there, and physical distance also creates a creates a void in terms of how do you personalize your communication.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, so it just makes you a little more impersonal, little more dry, and there is no emotions you can attach to it. When what I mean by that, right? But then, having said that, it is also important that we understand that it also opens us to be more aware of our surroundings. Now, just to give a very little example, I have a dog sitting here, and I'm not even noticed it. Right? That's an important part of it, right? Now, when I'm talking to you over video and I get to see some movements around it, that's my opportunity to connect with you at a personal level.
Right.
Now, you're using a brilliant background. I can ask you about that. It's a lovely background you're using, right? And I can talk about that. Likewise, first thing is to observe. The screen size of 16:9, whether it is a laptop or a phone, you need to be absolutely bang on your observation. Point number one. Point number two is be patient. What I mean by that is we had a technical challenge. And if I would have, got angry about it, oh no, the interviewer disappeared, things like that, that would be really hilarious to do, right? And that used to happen earlier. If your Zoom connection is not all right, if your video connection, WebEx connection is breaking, then people used to get very irritated and upset about it.
Right.
Because of the lockdown, because the expectation level has changed.
Correct.
On down, but it has changed. So now, today we have companies who are okay with if your dog starts barking at the background, or if your, a kid comes and starts yelling, Papa do this, Mama do this, etc. If you hear the pressure cooker noise or something like that. So the tolerance level has become much, much low. And there is a good reason behind it. There's a lot more empathy in people. So one,
Right.
second thing is being aware of the fact that the person is working from home. Thirdly, being empathetic and tolerant about the person's situation. And lastly comes talking.
Yeah.
Because when you know all the situation around you, this is actually you're listening with your eyes. When you
Yeah.
listen with the eyes, you know what needs to be spoken, because you're able to think with your mind really nicely and clearly and able to connect with the human being on the other side of the camera, right? So
Right.
that's where this has come across.
I think it's a brilliant piece of information, guys. You can just pause back, and because she has given you all the nuggets in a kind of a AK-47 coming like bullets, all the golden bullets coming to you. So probably in a nutshell, these are the kind of 4 or 5 keywords. You know, people who are into the digital world, they are always behind this word called keywords. Uh, Listening with an eyes. I think we should do some, videos probably with that. Listening with the eyes, and patience with the ears, I guess, and tolerant and empathy and awareness and all these things are definitely are the valuable skills that we have grown in this last probably couple of months, and we have understood the situations. And as I said, the word called tolerance has a new meaning right now. There is a
Yes.
meaning of gratitude also. And
Yes.
as I'm talking to you, there are things which is like prompting me, internet is unstable and this and all these things. But even though the internet is unstable, I think there is a stability in the way we are delivering this information, how we are connecting to each other, we are feeling for each other. I know that we are all locked in. And the good thing is, uh, probably the fakeism is slowly going away.
You can't fake it anymore, boss. There is just
Yeah.
no way to fake it anymore.
So the word, a lot of I don't want to mention, where I have read it, but I could understand. They have said there's a beautiful word called as "fake it till you make it." But I think this is a different world today, and it's all about performances now.
Yes.
How much ever bigger certificates you have or experiences you have, if it is not performing right now, if it is not giving you the respect, I don't know if you know this, respect has these 3 abbreviations in it. R stands for result, E stands for experience, and S stands for skill. If these 3 qualities are not met, you don't get the expectation of the last part. So if it is something that you are right now into this kind of a phase where there's a new way of public communication, and herein I have got Srijata, who has been doing it and mastering this, this style of communication. I have a next question to her about when you communicate over such kind of a places where you have certain ideas or you have to probably, give certain plans and strategies, and these are the business talks, right, which happens. There is a place where you need to connect. Probably I'll start with that. So Srijata, what is the best way for someone, how to connect? I'm talking in general, not about the digital communications, but in general, what do you suggest people? Because you had been a speaker, on your life.
See, I think, in fact, I have done a lot of study on this, that how do you really heartfully connect with anybody?
Right.
And to speak on that subject for a long, long time. Even today, I imbibe some of those things that I used to teach in my own ways. And also when I'm coaching people, I train them to how to heartfully connect with anybody and everybody, right? Like, just to give an example, I have friends from all over the world. Name it, I have a friend from there. And I'm not saying they are my LinkedIn profile friends. I have the ability to just send them a message out and they will be ready to help me. That's the kind of friends I'm talking about. And how did I manage it? Firstly, being authentic.
Right.
Being authentic about myself and also about themselves. If I like someone, I like someone. If I don't like someone, I would be open enough to share with them what I don't like about them. I won't say that I don't like you. I would say I don't like this thing about you. You may be able to change this or become better at it. So I don't equate non-liking with the person. I equate it with the trait. And that's how I've been able to, communicate with people and create that friendship. Second thing, having a huge amount of energy. Okay, my friends call me that I am bundle of energy, And no matter what the situation is, no matter where am I, no matter what kind of a difficult circumstances that I'm going through, I do not lose my energy. So
Right.
that brings back others' energy. So
Right.
no, always, every time you show up, you and you give that positive energy back to people, you're
Right.
bound to receive. It's like when you smile at people. If I smile at you, are you going to still keep a grumpy face?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I
So
have to.
probably, I think before talking, I think we should learn about the gestures. Even a smile can be a cunning smile, good smile, sad smile. There are qualities of smile as well. I think we can take a separate session on that, in fact.
Absolutely. And so, okay, certain things that I do is, first of all, whenever I'm connecting with a new person, I make it about them and not about myself.
Absolutely. Nice.
I
Very
fir-
nice.
I first give,
Yeah.
right? So when I give, so for example, recently in the month of January, I was traveling to Delhi for a conference of speakers called Professional Speaker Summit. And I was a speaker there. And then there was a guy from Netherlands who had come down to speak again. And I had reached out to him on LinkedIn, and we connected briefly. And then he sent me a message saying that, when are you reaching Delhi? So I told him that I'm reaching this day and let's connect and this and that. So he reached out saying that, would you be kind enough to review my presentation? Would you like to listen to my presentation even before I give it to the entire audience? And would you like to give me feedback? Now, I could have said, no, I don't have time for all of that. And, I have something else to do, or etc., etc. I didn't do any of those. I said, yes, of course. Why not? And we met in one of his, hotel rooms, one of the hotel rooms, 3-4 of us met up, and we shared whatever we felt. And this guy is a known, not New Zealand, Netherlands speaker. He is well known in the world. So you can imagine, if he is seeking feedback and you're giving it, so you're only opening up a Pandora's box of, friendship with him. And since then, I have met him only once in the entire, time that I know him. But that bonding that we created, because of which, if I call him today saying that, Tom, I need your help, he will be right there.
Right.
So you always build that connection as a giver. And you don't give because you want to receive something from someone.
Yeah.
You only give because you want to give. There is no point of doing, is this it, right? Like, there is no point of doing charity when you expect something against it.
Right.
So, the thing of true giving is where you give and you forget. Totally.
Right.
So that works brilliantly every time you want to make a connection.
Yeah. So I think this is very pretty obvious. A lot of people. This is what even I have been practicing it from last 20 years now. I had been a marketer throughout my life. I've been designing protocols to sell, different brands, products, and services, and various things. They have this, techniques. If you are not able to use it, just make a sample out of it. Give it out. If you're not able to give the entire thing, it's fine. Just give them a teaser. So that's the marketing structure of it. But when it comes to communications, people gonna figure out. At the end of the day, when they open up the pack and they find that it is 90% air and 2% chips, and remaining is all good luck, then it's a different thing. But still, that 2% of that chips itself can make 100% of happiness and smile on your face if you have that great quality as well.
Yes.
Right? So, but as I said, packaging is important. But what is also more important is the end result when the people taste and gives it back. So probably giving to that quality is right now. I would like probably Srijata to bring her expertise here for those people who are right now struggling to connect, struggling to probably divert their mode of functioning, struggling to probably get into this digital communications madness. There are multiple setbacks. What's basically her topic into. So and she's been mastering that. So over to you, Srijata.
So yes, as I said, there is challenge that you might be facing. That's not because there is no way out there. The reason is that you probably don't know the way yet.
Yes, very
Right?
true. Very true.
You will never know the way. You and only you can find that way out. Now, for some people, Zoom is a great tool. For some people, WhatsApp is a great tool. Now, let me share a quick example of how I came to realize that WhatsApp was a great tool. It was probably in year 2012, 13, that time, and I didn't have WhatsApp in my phone. Okay, and I had started my first startup. I was working with rural artisans and craftsmen. I'm reiterating, rural artisans and craftsmen. Okay. And when I would call them saying that, Bhaiya, I want this from you, in Hindi, of course, I wanted this from you. It's like, okay, how do I send you pictures? So, for example, they have to send the product pictures to me for me to understand. I'd say, can you mail? He said, no, WhatsApp mein bhej deta hu. I'll send it in WhatsApp. And that's when I realized, shit, man, sitting in a rural, village there, he is using WhatsApp as if it's the greatest tool of the world, and I still don't have WhatsApp in my phone. So I don't have any qualms or any shame in saying that the rural artisans and craftsmen taught me how to use WhatsApp and how to use it for business. Similarly, there are various tools in this world. Today I'm learning how to edit movies, how to edit videos. So the idea is your learnability. How quickly are you able to change your situation from a victim mindset saying that I don't have a solution for this, to get into a solution mindset where you find it that yes, there are ABCD tools. I can pick probably a tool which will help me take my business to the next level in this certain situation and go forward with it. I want to reiterate here that the problem is not that there is no solution to this. The problem is you don't know the solution as yet. And
Can I put a point here, Srijata? Okay, there is a new word that I learned probably many years back. It's called as incognitive ignorance. It's like
that's one of my favorite words.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. I think I have touched the right chord. Please go ahead.
Thank you for bringing that up. So, technical words apart, incognitive ignorance. But the point is that we live in our own little well.
Correct. Yeah.
There is a huge universe outside that well. Are you ready to jump out of that well and see that universe?
Right.
That's as simple as that. The moment you do that, trust me, nothing is impossible. Nothing is difficult. I wouldn't even say nothing is impossible. Nothing is difficult.
I want to give one small example, which I always try to give it to my team members and whoever is working along with me, about this word called as incognitive ignorance. And she has given a fantastic example of living inside the well. And I would rather to give an example is when you first went to school, the first day when you went to school, when you went to this institution or whichever, the kindergarten school or wherever it is. And let's say in your bag, there is a geometry box. Okay, on the first day of your school, you have this geometry box. Or someone has gifted a geometry box, someone has given it to you. What do you do with that? I think that's the biggest example of incognitive ignorance. That you have the tools, but you do not know what to do with them. So it is not like what you do, I mean, what tools you have, but what you do with the tools. How much expertise do you have it? The pen in my hand can be used to probably my self-defense as well. But do I know how to use that? I don't know it. So I think we have the tools, and the another part probably I would like Srijata to emphasize, because I know when I use this word, she'll be super excited to talk about it. It's called as resourcefulness. Over to you, Chief.
Come again?
Resourcefulness.
Oh, resourcefulness. Yes. So okay. So one is you have the resource, and another way is that okay, what can I do with the resource? Now, again, I will start with an example of what I didn't know. Till about 2 months back, I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't know how to edit videos. Now, obviously, at this situation, I can't go ahead and hire somebody, sit with them, get the videos edited, and blah, 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 blah. That is one example. I'm bringing it out because right now it's a difficult situation. Now, what do I do? First of all, I figured out what are tools that are fine. Then I pick it up. and I start learning. Maybe spend a day. Now I have extra time. I'm not traveling. I'm not, getting stuck in traffic. I don't have any urgency in waking up in the morning and rushing to office and things like that. So I sit down, spend about 3-4 hours, see videos. There are ample amount of videos in YouTube and other channels to teach you about pretty much anything. How to bake a cake, you have an answer. How to make a movie, you have an answer. How to write a letter, you have an answer. How to print something, you have an answer. So you have think of an how to, and you will find an answer. In Google, in YouTube, right? The point, are you willing to sit down and spend that 10 minutes? And you do that. You have that resourcefulness in you to go forward with that. Second thing, now you have more teams working. Know what they are great at. Know where their challenges are. Make sure you're amplifying their, the skills that they are great at, and reducing where they can delay you or slow you down. Like I don't do anything around website making. Can do yourself what you can make your team do for themselves. That's how I think you create correct kind of resourcefulness around you.
Right. And when it comes to, you've nicely been put across all these points, but there is still a challenge when you have your thoughts and you have to put it into different communication forms. Might be in terms of your writing, might be in terms of recording videos. Again, it is one part, but when it comes to something like an instantaneous way, like how she is talking, or probably, we are doing this discussion, it needs a different way of practice. It needs a different way of a skillful tactics to probably manage your thoughts, and then articulating in a very, I'll say a very connective way to get inside. So that's an art. Probably anything that you want to talk, Srijata, about how do you, get into that finesse level of connecting, communicating, and then ultimately serving people.
So I'm going to demonstrate it.
Oh, awesome. I love this.
So to demonstrate it, here is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'll just pause.
All right.
Right? Now, why I will pause? Because as you rightly said, that when you are instantly doing things for the audience outside there, and when you have to sort your thoughts in your mind even before you can communicate it out in a sensible manner, sensible, bite-sized, understandable manner, you need to first pause. Organize your thoughts in your mind. First, organize that thoughts in your mind. Do you know that while we communicate in different languages, we also think in different languages? What's the language you think on, Amit?
I don't know. I mean, I have not put a thought to this, but my thinking is usually in a English language right now.
That's what. So even I think in English. Now, It's like, if I have to communicate that thought in, say, my mother tongue, which is Bengali, correct? I will take a few seconds pause, and then I will translate it in my mind, and then I will communicate it.
Okay.
Correct. So that's how you can do for any language. So say all of us think in one particular language most often. Now, if you're a person who's thinking in, say, Hindi, you will need to take that pause to communicate that into English language. So take that pause. Nobody, a lot of people think if I pause, people will think I'm dumb or I don't know my subject, but that's not the case. Actually, this thing, pause, a tiny 5-letter word, can bring back a lot of attention in you.
Right.
Just to ask you, Amit, when I was pausing without saying anything, what were you thinking?
I thought might be the connection is not working probably.
Did you get bored about it?
I, it's tough journey for somebody who is, as an interviewer, I've been doing all these things, and a lot of times, such kind of things happens, and the people are stuck. Might be I can hear them, but there is no movement happening on my screen, and all my so-called technical parts keeps on working now. I mean, it is my mistake, her mistake, network mistake, or I don't know what other things, software mistakes. So I know you have not expected this answer, but that is the truth.
No, that's fine. You know what happens generally when you pause? You
Yeah,
actually grab the attention of people.
absolutely, I agree with you. Yeah.
And that also allows your mind, it's a trick, it's a technique to quickly organize your thoughts in your mind and then share it. And when
Right.
you do, you come across as a really, a person who is able to organize his thoughts clearly and communicating it clearly.
Yeah.
So that's what I
So
would say.
one more thing, guys. As you're watching this video, and probably you might have a little bit of smile because you are also understanding like it is how difficult it is to communicate over a platform, a wireless digital platform like this. So I'm just mixing these two parts, and I'm taking with her permission, Srijata, is there is a traditional way of delivering certain thoughts, which is on the stage with the mic, with probably thousands of people sitting there, and power of pause is a kind of a good way to grab this attention and keep everyone focused, and everyone takes the understand something happened silent. So this, the sound of silence. But just you saw, and we just burst into laughter when she says, "What were you thinking?" I was thinking where it got stuck, and we had a small happiness system. We just exchanged it. So I think there is a little bit of change of how human interactions have been there in the traditional way, and now on the digital way. If I need to probably use that power of pause, probably I'll say, dude, my guys, my connection is fine, my everything is okay, and now I want you to think and to show with your fingers. Okay, so might be you can use certain other techniques. Okay, you can use probably some animations going back end and some timers here, but they should understand that you are not stuck because of these technical problems.
Yeah, of course. See, this was an unscripted interview. Obviously, you all know it by now. And therefore, we didn't have the time to think about, okay, how are we going to use the pause in the right manner so that people don't go, oh, okay, it's stuck. She's not moving. She's not doing anything, things like that. But then,
And
I'm sure it brought a smile and a big grin on your face, didn't it?
absolutely. And you know what? When we are at a level when on one side we have tolerance built up, but there is also an intolerance. The intolerance is the pauses. The moment you see a video and the video is stuck probably for 1 second, a millisecond. I've got statistics. I'm coming from the digital background and all those things. People usually do scroll up, go to the next feed. Okay. And I'm sure by the end of this video, a lot of people would be scrolling to the next one, right? And you'll be trying to figure out if it is matching with you or not. But before you can do that, let me ask you on these things. You have seen so far, I know you are here. So why not you take that energy, press that button, share and save it with yourself, because this is much more a final structure. Today, you might not be understanding the power of the communications that we did just now about the digital mindset or the tolerance and the intolerance about the digital communications which is happening. But very shortly, very shortly, there will be a course. There is somebody designing a course, and if you're watching this, this is a new way of your entrepreneurship can start right now. There's a lot of people who are into teaching, training, mentors, gurus, and all these people. There will be someone who will be talking about the digital communications, like how you have got speakers communications. And Srijata, why not you do it? Probably we should start this immediately somewhere. You know,
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I think this is one way we create businesses around. This is what I do. I make businesses from the thin air. So I have a new thing right now. Public communication is now a digital communication. And as rightly, there are a lot of things. I just went into very minutest thing is the pause, which used to be making people focused into the speakers or the person on the stage, is now has to be used in a multiple different way when you're doing this digital communication with people who are 10,000, 20,000 people can look at you on the screen. The power of editing, the speeches, the power of probably positioning and managing your tonalities, because this is recorded from my side. It is recorded through a mic. and probably that is like recorded on the phone somewhere. Then there are different things. You have to learn about the technologies to record, technologies to modulate the record, technologies to do some kind of animation, so some kind of visual impact, audio impact, and then there is a thought impact. On an ambience, a real ambience, it is different, but on a digital ambience, it is different. So it's a hybrid model.
Yeah.
Probably right now, I think very, very few people are doing this, and to that deeper level about what kind of digital human psychology that you need to understand. Like we just had something with the problem with the network. I think all the leaders right now, all the people who are talking to their team, they definitely need to have such kind of course. This entire structure was not to sell you this, but I found that there is a very good business proposition right now, as a lot of people are getting into. Because just imagine, all the schools, college, universities are right now, within just 15-20 days, they have managed to get into the digital platform now.
Yes.
But what about the teachers? What about the professors who had that chalk and board system still now? And in countries like India or probably Southeast Asian countries, we are still getting used to it. I'm not telling that we cannot cope up with that, because we saw that when we had last time the demonetization happened, people started using Paytm and online structures of exchanging money, Paytm, PayU. So many thousands of such kind of applications have came into place. Srijata gave the example of how people were using WhatsApp in a rural place to manage their businesses. So again, it's all not about what you do with the tools, I mean, how you have the tools, but what you do to excel in whatever the industries you are. So with that, probably, I don't want to take it a very lengthy sessions. If you have any kind of informations that you want to exchange, any comments, the things you like, the things you didn't like, now it's a free world, power of communication. You can write down whatever you have in the comment boxes somewhere down there, and you will find both our tags are there, we are connective, and we are open. I think being tolerant is also one more thing, is the power of gratitude. So we are definitely thankful because you have spent the time here listening to us. Probably we could made you a little bit of entertainment in between. A lot of good nuggets came from Srijata as well. And this is one thing that I would like you guys to do, it is, once you type in here, if you have any suggestions, I am more open to it. And probably I think Srijata also will be there. If you have any suggestions for us that we should do whatever in terms of the videos, in terms of the workings, in terms of getting you something, we are more open right now. And this is the place where we are also taking this feedback. I am taking feedback on my interviews. If you have liked it, I understand. If you have seen the views, I understand. If you have not gone to 20 minutes and 30 minutes, I understand that also. So what would that thing make so that you can watch till now, and still existing, that what's coming up next? So next is going to be another set of interviews for definitely a lot of other people in industries, which are definitely there. But what I'm going to do is, I would probably try making a small edit here. I do not want to edit. This goes as raw footages and all those things. But probably I will have something to give you a nugget of what is coming next. Because these are not planned. And I have been reaching out to people like Srijata, and I have to work on their timings as well. So I really can't tell you like what is exactly coming up. But yes, releases and all these things I can understand. So thank you so much for watching in here. Srijata, it was I'll not say a pleasure and an honor, but it is like, endless amount of examples and all the golden bullets that you have given me. My book is full, I've been writing down notes. If you have seen me, and as a interviewer, I should always look at the camera. But what I was doing was I was writing, Might be I should have done it later.
I kind of made you a student already in this.
I think, the first thing is, I have written on this board what is, where it's gone. Okay. The first thing you mentioned was give to gain. Number two, and I'm just giving you the nuggets that I have understood is, okay, communicate to connect. Number three, I made this up and it's called as serve to success. So this is something that I have to come with an open mind. I think in this 21st century, those people will lag behind who will not seek for help, who will not ask, who are got that adamant thing, okay, I know everything. No, I'm learning, she's learning. Just see, she's learning editing, she's learning about so many things, even though she has been a renowned person in her industry. She's like putting her efforts. And she's telling openly that, yes, I have never done this. The next to the scare of death, I think the next fear that I had was the fear of not the gun, but the mic. Okay. And then now the next fear is fear of not the mic, but the video, which is like, there is no one. And I'm not scared about the guy here. It's all about a small button, which looks like a small piece of a glass, which is looking at me. And there are 10,000 people might be looking at this. And this is something that I will never be able to erase. Once it is out in the cloud, it is going to be there ages after ages. People are going to make series after series after this. They can definitely find me out somewhere. And to write a history, whatever we are doing right now, it is all about being your history. It's your communications. Probably after 10 years, if I see this own videos, I'll be laughing at me.
We will surely be laughing at ourselves, and there's no doubt about that. 100% we will be laughing at ourselves. But then if we didn't do it today, 10 years later, we won't have the chance of laughing at ourselves.
Amazing. Nice. So if you don't want to smile, or if you don't want to have any emotions, stay wherever you are, do whatever you are. Do not do anything. Everyone talks, gives you a lot of gyan. This is the next gyan from my side, Amit Baba. Do not do anything. Stay like this. And 10 years, not even 10 years, just once the lockdown opens up, probably after 1 year, you look at yourself, you look at that mirror, you look at this time right now. There will be a sense of rejection, repentance, and a lot of other such kind of negative adjectives, which will be, making you to cribble probably. If you don't do now, your choice. We tried our part. I'm learning and open sessions. You have the power to write back, and I have the power to ask for help. I am open-minded. As he says, I am already a student. Yes, I am a student. I'm willing to learn, and I'm also willing to ask for these three things. Please help me. Please support me. Please guide me, and please share all these inputs. Is there a shame in this? No problem. I'm okay with that. And thank you so much for being here. So with that, let me also thank you, Srijata, as well. Thank you, Srijata. It was definitely more than a pleasure to have you here. And it was a lovely interaction. It was so much lively that because we made all these small disturbances into golden bullets. Right. So with that, stay back, stay safe, stay healthy, and I think start working inside.
Keep growing.
Yeah.
See you.